Just letting everyone in Australia know that James Charles is sleeping with Evan Johnson, the one that broke Kayla Malec's jaw and badly beat and abused her.
For the past 9 months, I have been in arguably one of the worst mentally, physically abusive relationships I could ever imagine.
James Charles just got exposed again, and this time, the receipts are wild. This isn't your usual internet mess. The stuff that just came out, straight up disturbing. We're talking jaw-dropping, stomach-churning kind of disturbing. And somehow, James is still out here flashing that same old smile on social media like nothing's wrong. Like none of it ever happened. Let's get into it. Like, have you noticed it too? It's always the ones grinning ear to ear on camera that got the darkest secrets behind the scenes. And here we are once again talking about James Charles. Same creepy pattern, same sketchy behavior, just a new person stepping up with proof. It's like a never-ending cycle with this dude. Underage. That's the word that makes this whole situation straight up nasty. What's really sick is how James Charles always seems to slide out untouched, even when the dirt around him keeps stacking higher like a mountain. Who keeps covering for him? At this point, no one's even shocked anymore.
James is sick. He is a sick guy. He needs very much help, and this is something that the whole world needs to see.
And that's part of the problem. The internet's got years of screenshots and stories tied to James and his creepy behavior. Like, why is he still anywhere near his younger fans? He's got no business being in that space, period. But what came out today? This one hits way harder than the rest. It's a new level of messed up. And if you're still out here making excuses for him, then I gotta say it plain. You're part of the problem too. Let's break it down. James Charles, the so-called beauty guru who cashed in big off Gen Z's love, already got too many accusations hanging over his head. And no, don't try to spin this as cancel culture. This ain't about clout. This is about consequences. We're talking about a grown man who keeps crossing the line again and again, yet somehow he still lands deals, still gets brand support, and still acts like nothing ever happened. His team keeps backing him up, and his sparkly Instagram posts keep pulling focus away from the real issue. But this time, someone new just stepped forward, and they didn't just speak up. They brought the receipts.
I can't get into too much right now, but I found out that a close friend of mine had basically really fucked me over in ways I could have never expected, and I got sent proof and receipts, and that person admitted it to me that they had done it.
Chilling solid proof that takes this whole situation to an even darker, more twisted level. And here's where it gets even messier. This isn't just about James Charles anymore. According to this new victim, it involves people close to him too. Allegedly, James has ties to someone with a disturbing history of domestic abuse. Yeah, you heard that right. Someone with a whole track record of messed up behavior. It's giving, show me your crew, I'll show you who you are vibes. And the folks calling this out, they're not just random internet trolls. These are other creators, real voices from inside the community who've had enough of watching this whole circus keep spinning with no consequences. Look, I'm not throwing around accusations carelessly, so yeah, we're gonna keep saying allegedly. But let's not get it twisted. The stuff coming out is seriously disturbing. If you're still following James Charles like it's the good old days of 2018, you need to stop and really ask yourself, why? If you're defending this, supporting this, or even staying quiet about it, you're not just ignoring red flags, you're wrapping yourself in them like it's fashion. Seriously, why are there still people out here commenting stuff like, no one can make me hate James? Like, really? That just shows you only care when you're the one getting hurt. And that's honestly just sad. And for the ones brushing it all off like it's just more internet drama, wake up! This is way deeper than gossip. We're talking about real people, real victims, getting manipulated, hurt, and pushed into silence, while someone with a massive platform keeps skipping through life untouched. He was just out there at Coachella, grinning for the camera, dropping product reviews like his name isn't tangled up in some of the worst accusations floating around right now. It's wild. How is he still all over your For You page? Still pulling in views, still dropping makeup lines? Meanwhile, people who crossed paths with him are left holding on to real pain and trauma. That's not just messed up, it's seriously disturbing. All right, let's stop dancing around and dive into where it gets real dark. Time to break it down with the actual receipts. So what's James Charles caught up in now? We're talking about a grown man, again, getting linked to underage-related mess. This time, it's about his connection to Evan Johnson. Yeah, the same Evan that Kayla called out for putting hands on her. And what's James allegedly doing? Flying this man out, sleeping with him, and still staying completely silent about the whole thing. Disgusting doesn't even begin to describe it. If you're confused, here's the rundown. This is about the Evan Johnson and Kayla Malec situation. Kayla came forward recently with a story that's honestly heartbreaking. She said James Charles betrayed her in a way she never saw coming.
Just letting everyone in Australia know that James Charles is sleeping with Evan Johnson, the one that broke Kayla Malec's jaw and badly beat and abused her, the one that was in prison. James Charles has been housing this motherfucker, flying him out to sleep with him.
Her words were heavy. Sharing it forced her to relive some serious trauma, and that alone says a lot about how deep this mess goes. So yeah, it's time to get into it. Kayla Malec, some of you might remember her from back in the day when people gave her a hard time for her freckles and unique makeup looks, but now she's speaking out with some real stuff. And trust me, what she's revealing is nothing light. If freckles got you mad, go touch some grass and find peace. Seriously, let people live. But let's be real, this isn't about freckles or online trolls. This is serious. On April 18th, Kayla came forward with a heavy, heartbreaking post on both Instagram and TikTok, calling out her ex, Evan Johnson, for abuse. She said, and I'm quoting her, "For the past 9 months, I was in an extremely abusive relationship." She went on to say, "I was silently being abused while posting my life online smiling." It is true. You can see it in the eyes. That line alone hits hard. Then she added, "I watch my old videos and see someone I never want to see again. It drained my soul and ripped apart the strong nature of myself I've had my entire life. I cannot put into words the abuse and what it did to me."
Oh my god.
Did you get fucked by big black niggas? I hope so, you fucking slut. Everyone on the road said, hey, give me that.
Fuck you. You keep hitting me. Oh my god.
You're so dumb.
You broke my jaw. You broke my jaw.
But Kayla didn't just post and vanish. She dropped a 2-part 4-hour series on YouTube laying it all out, everything she allegedly went through. And when I say she brought receipts, she brought videos. No speculation, no guessing, just raw, painful, graphic proof of what really went down. It's real-life trauma caught on camera. Kayla opened up about how Evan allegedly turned violent just weeks into the relationship. She pointed out all the red flags, the early signs that too many people ignore. And let's be real, sometimes love can make you straight up blind. She shared chilling moments. Him yelling at her, accusing her of cheating while she was literally flying across the country and dropping $700 of her own money to bail him out of jail. Like, girl, no. That was never your responsibility. But it got worse, way worse. Kayla said things hit a terrifying peak in August 2024 after she visited him in Nashville. Allegedly, after some drinking, he got so violent that she thought he broke her jaw. This wasn't some heated argument, not a small fight. She's talking bone-breaking violence. She said she couldn't eat and was in constant, unbearable pain. And sadly, that wasn't the end. According to Kayla, Evan strangled her, hit her, and constantly tore her down with his words, again and again throughout their relationship. The level of control and fear she lived under, it's a miracle she even got out. In her second video, posted April 11th, she shared how she finally escaped. After one more violent outburst on a vacation, she looked in the mirror and promised herself never again. She made a promise to tell her family and burn the bridge so she could never go back. And she meant it. She picked up the phone, called her mom, and said the words no parent should ever have to hear. My boyfriend hits me, and it's been going on for months. I'm not gonna lie. I had to pause after that because choosing yourself in the middle of trauma like that, that's more than survival. That's straight up power. And karma didn't take its sweet time. Just 3 days after Kayla's first video dropped, People magazine confirmed it. Evan Johnson was arrested in Tennessee on April 11th for domestic violence and a probation violation. That quick. And what did he do right after? The classic move. Vanished from the internet like a ghost. Deleted every single social media account. Scrubbed it clean. But here's the thing. Truth don't need filters or edits. It speaks for itself. The only ones running are the ones who know what they did. Then boom! Just like that, James Charles is allegedly back on the scene with Evan Johnson. Glammed up, smiling, and hanging out like nothing happened. Two people with way too many skeletons pretending the closet doesn't exist.
With a
lot. Like literally
to everybody at home, like, I hope you guys realize that behind the scenes, like, she's dealing with real stuff. Like, she's sharing with you guys, you know, pieces of the story, but she actually has to live this. So, like, outside of the videos and stuff, she actually has to.
And then also for somebody I considered a close friend to really fucked me over and done things I could never do to a person.
At first, Kayla didn't drop any names when talking about the mystery man who betrayed her, just called him out for being a monster. But that changed recently when she appeared on a podcast and mentioned being betrayed by someone she completely trusted. The internet started piecing it together, and Kayla made it real easy by liking comments that guessed she was talking about James Charles. And before anyone tries to say folks are being dramatic online, Kayla's own sister jumped in and confirmed it. She commented on the podcast episode saying, "All I'm saying is it's not a lie." Kayla didn't have to spell it out. She let her actions do the talking. And yet, people are still defending James like he's their sweet little cousin or something. Let's not forget, Kayla and James were actually close, real close. He's done her makeup, been all up in her personal space, laughing, vibing, acting like the supportive friend. He even sympathized with her about the abuse she went through. And the whole time, he allegedly knew exactly what he was doing behind her back. How do you get that close to someone, hear their pain, and then turn around and link up with the same guy who caused it? That's not just messy, that's evil. Straight up. And that's not all. James Charles is also facing multiple accusations of being inappropriate with people without their consent. Wild part? He's even joked about it publicly before like it's cute behavior. It's not. Not even close. Because to James, apparently, it's all just one big joke. Games, laughs, and zero consequences. But people aren't laughing. They're calling him out, and hard. Not just for being out of control, but for seriously overstepping with no respect for boundaries. You could be having a normal convo with him, and the next thing you know, bam, he's sending a nude. Like, what? And it doesn't stop there. Another creator spoke up about a wild experience with James. According to them, James literally stripped down and started posing suggestively, then walked over and dropped his alleged go-to line. How do you like that, Daddy?
Well, we get to in Evan's room, and then he notices, like, Evan takes a picture of himself and is like, obviously him in his room. And the next picture was James bent over on his bed with his ass up in the air and was showing his ass.
Excuse me. What? That's not just cringe. That's dangerous behavior. Like, who does that and thinks it's okay? That's not flirtation, that's delusion. That's giving Predator with a punchline vibes. Let's make it real clear. Consent is not a joke, age is not a game, and this pattern, it's not some one-time slip-up. It's a full-on obsession with crossing the line, going after people who are either way too young or just not interested. It's disgusting. And the worst part, this isn't some new development. This is who he's been. The fake apologies, the I've learned from my mistakes speeches, just to turn around and end up in someone's DMs pulling the same creepy moves all over again. And don't think we forgot about his inner circle. Anyone still working with James, collabing with him, or just sitting quiet while all this goes down? Yeah, you're part of the problem too. No sugarcoating it. Let's be real clear for the ones in the back. This isn't just a mistake. And it's definitely not, he was young. This is a pattern of straight up predatory behavior, a pattern of silence while real people are getting hurt, and a pattern of platforms and brands just letting it slide. What's blowing people's minds is how James Charles is still walking around like he's untouchable, still landing deals like nothing ever happened. It's wild. Every time he pops back online with one of those I'm so quirky makeup tutorials or tries to insert himself into the Coachella crowd, it's like, please, be for real, read the room, and don't even get me started on the random rumors floating around like, did he actually get a BBL? I don't even know if that's true, but the fact that stuff like that is trending in TikTok search bars while all this is happening, it's giving clown world. Like, where are the priorities? Look, nobody cares what someone does with their body. Live your life. But James Charles, that's a whole different story. How do you spend all that time and money changing your appearance while ignoring the real issue? Your shady character? That's the part that actually needs a makeover. Nah, miss us with the distractions. Somehow, James has convinced a chunk of his fan base that he's the victim, that he's just misunderstood or unfairly canceled. Let's clear that up real quick. He's not misunderstood. He hasn't been canceled without reason. James Charles...
I have, caught on of why he was so, do you trust him? Because they started picking up back on their conversation, and that's when James came back to Evan and was like, well, you didn't lose anything, Evan, out of this. If anything, you won.
Is calculated, entitled, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He keeps crossing lines because he truly believes he's untouchable. And maybe, in this twisted system, he kind of is. Fame really does protect people it shouldn't. But just because he's living in a bubble doesn't mean the rest of us gotta act blind to what's right in front of us. At some point, you've got to ask, how much is enough? You've got the followers, the fame, the cash, so why do you still go after people who clearly aren't in a space to say no? It's not about love. It's not about connection. It's about control, feeding an ego that should have been cut off years ago. And no, this isn't a one-time thing. Not that a one-off would be okay either, but this is deeper. It's repeated, it's obsessive, and it's predatory. James Charles has made a name for chasing after young, naive adults. More than we even know. That's the real brand. No sugarcoating. Just facts. James Charles isn't just problematic, he's greedy and dangerous, and it's like the truth has to be shouted over and over just to get people to pay attention. At this point, permanent cancellation isn't drama. It's a necessity. So, what has James said about all this chaos? Yep, you guessed it. Nothing. He's not hiding, not apologizing, not explaining, just quietly deleting comments and acting like none of it ever happened. Like we imagined the whole thing. People have been flooding his posts, asking if he's ever going to speak on the Kayla situation, but blink, and the comments are gone. That's not PR strategy, that's straight up avoidance. And can we please talk about his tired YouTube routine? You know the one. No makeup, serious face, fake tears, every single time he gets caught. Like clockwork. It's the same manipulative formula, bare face, low voice, emotional lighting. Like, how many times are people gonna fall for this weak guilt trip? At this point, it's just insulting. Meanwhile, Kayla wrapped her story by saying she didn't speak out just for herself, but to help others. I've been getting a lot of messages from people sharing their stories and saying I helped them, she said. I actually don't have words for that because that's all I wanted this to do. And that right there, that's real strength. Even while unpacking her own pain, she's thinking about helping others. Maybe James Charles should try learning something from that, for once. At this point, it's beyond clear, Kayla's move was selfless. We can't keep acting like it's nothing, while victims keep stepping forward with real, undeniable proof. James Charles, he's starting to look way more like a monster than any kind of makeup guru. The receipts are loud, the patterns are obvious, and somehow he's still out here living his influencer dream like none of this ever happened. And the silence, it's deafening, especially coming from someone who usually can't stop talking. Let's be real. Actions have consequences. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day it will catch up to him. For real. He's not bouncing back from this one. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear everything. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share this video, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss the next update on this wild situation. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.